I'm here only to spend 5 minutes to share with you some of the ideas in going forward. If you talk of learner-centric MOOCs, they can be offered in three different ways. One way is, of course, to offer it as MOOC on any one of the platforms like SWAYAM or IIT Bombay X and so on, and which teachers can use all over. The second is to create a local version of the course in your own setup. Now, the problem is whether you should have one standardized course given across the country by a group of faculty members, or whether there should be 6,000 courses as they run currently with individual teachers teaching each course at each institution. Obviously, if I'm a teacher at any one of the colleges, I would like to have the best of both worlds. I would like to have access to a customized course for the benefit of my students as I perceive it, which means I should have the facility to take a course, modify it, extend it, augment it in my own way, and create a learner-centric MOOC for my own students. Now, this will necessitate a facility and infrastructure, hardware infrastructure at each of the institutions, which may not be very easy to do. Now, as you know, we are setting up a cloud that would be ready in about 2 weeks' time. We may be able to create what we call a localized version of partner institutions. For your information, IIM Bangalore MOOCs are being run from our infrastructure. We are already, as I mentioned, we are creating a version of the OpenEdX IIT Bombay X platform, which is configurable, which means with very little effort, you can modify the themes and the nomenclature to display as if it is a Tyagarajar college site or it's a PHB college site or whatever it is. And we may be able to host that site on our cloud infrastructure with full control available to you. This will permit you to adapt a course and give it not only for your own students, but even for students of nearby institutions. Now, how the scenario will play out, we do not know as yet, but we can make that effort. The point is, neither extreme is good. One extreme is each teacher does one's own learner-centric activity and decides to offer it. That is one extreme. The other extreme is one single centralized course. I think the truth lies somewhere in between, where if I'm a teacher, as I said, I would like to take the best part of any learner-centric MOOC that has been designed. That is the reason why we insist on releasing all our content in open source so that it can be used. To that, you should augment. But the augmentation must be given back to the community. That's the only expectation which is reasonable. So whatever augmentation you do, whatever specific video learner dialogues or quizzes or whatever you create should be available to others. We'll work this out. If you have any ideas in this context, or if you wish to use such a facility, this will be available from 15 January onwards. But we may be able to make available the facility initially from around 25th or 27th of December, so that those who wish to adapt a course would be able to do that. The point is, you should go ahead with creating in your own domains, in your own subjects, additional material, but keep an eye on whatever is available in open source so that you can make the best of it. Okay, we would try to do, for whatever courses we are creating, we would try to keep that aspiration in mind that people would like to adapt a course by inserting their own material in their own way. Fine. So that's all I wanted to share. And this facility, we do not know how long it will take, but by December end, as I said, we'll make it available. In case you are interested in using this facility to begin with, at least as an initial infrastructure, to expose your students to IIT Bombay X-like platform, but in your own name, in your own college name, we would be very happy to do that for a limited period. At least for these 35 people representing what, about 15 institutions. Well, I do have infrastructure extra available for at least 15 such sites. So that much I can promise now. Because the T10KT project is coming to an end. A new school of education is being planned under which we might be able to run future teacher training program. But for the time being, this is the arrangement we'll make. Right? Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Phatak. Good morning, everyone. So, let us start today's session. So, what we are going to do today. Yesterday, you spent time on identifying course, how to move your traditional course to a MOOC format, and you were told a lot of principles that you can use to make this online course into a learner-centric one. Today, we are going deep into the individual elements of the learner-centric MOOC, namely learning dialogues, learning by doing activity, learning experience interaction, and learning extension resources. So, today we are spending our time on creating a learner-centric MOOCs. Okay, consider what you have done till now as an extension activity and tell me the answer to this. How should the telling be done in a learner-centric MOOC? So, by telling we mean lectures that you are going to convert into the video. How should this telling be done in this learner-centric MOOC? You can just show your hands. I will be able to see it. If it is not single answer, you can say that you can show 2 hands or multiple hands. Yeah, you can show it over here. So, it is a single answer question. Show of hands. Okay, I will give you 30 seconds. All of you have to vote. It is either 1, 2, 3 and 4, and if you think that there are multiple answers, just raise 5. Okay. 30 seconds, I will do a Google countdown to add on. Everyone has to vote. Whoever has finished thinking about it has to vote. Yeah. So, there are a lot of 5s. Okay, Google has put up the timer. Why don't, so I see a lot of 2s, 3s and 5s. There is a 1 also. What you can do now is, let us do a peer instruction. Okay. Turn to your neighbor, either convince him that your answer is right or get convinced that your neighbor's answer is right. Okay. Once your neighbor or you get convinced, move to the next group. So, we will have this activity for 3 minutes. Yeah, I'll just. So, it's a 3-minute timer. Yeah. TAs can also try this. I don't hear too much of noise, so I'm assuming that all of you have come to a consensus. There is a set of group over here also. You can shout out and discuss with them. In this room, shouting is allowed, as long as the instructor says it is allowed. Just to put things in perspective, 1 more minute, I don't hear much of noise. So, if you have all come to a consensus, I can stop the timer now and I can do a revote. All in consensus? So, I am stopping the timer. It's okay with you, right? Okay, I am stopping the timer. So, you took exactly 2 minutes and 10 seconds to complete this activity. Great. Okay. How many people have changed their votes? Just raise your hand. Changed. How many people have changed? Okay, this side seems to be in complete consensus. How how many varied opinions? Let's do a revote. How many varied opinions? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one are you? 3, 5, 1, 5. Anyone with a 2? Anyone with a 2? 2. You are saying 2. Okay. So there is 1, 2. So which means it's a 5. Which means it's a 5. 2 plus 3 equal to 5. Okay. So the correct answer is a learning dialogue, because a learning dialogue will encompass both a video explanation, and there will be an inside activity in the learning dialogue. So this is why we say that a learning dialogue, why you should focus on creating learning dialogue. So this is the telling aspect. So while moving from classroom lectures to MOOCs, the telling that you think of in your own mind, it should now be all learning dialogues. So the focus should be on learning dialogues. Any questions?
Generally, telling means it's a lower order, they're just transferring information. So I feel learning dialogue will come little on the higher side, I mean where you are engaging the students in some activity and putting them to some higher order of thinking.
So the activity could be just a simple recall level activity also. A recall, understand activity, they are also lower order activities, right? So in a video, will you do a create evaluate activity inside a video or in a text explanation? You will not. You will make them do specific problems or activities that require them to go beyond just memorizing the the content in the videos, right? You may go till apply, wherein you may give a simple problem that is related to the content, but you will not go beyond it. So typically in learning dialogues, the assessment or the activity will also be primarily under lower order. I mean, it is recommended that you do a lower order activity just because they have to grasp the content, that is all. And more importantly, learning dialogue does not mean that it always have to be a video. A text explanation with an in-between reflection spot activity is also a valid learning dialogue. A dialogue means interaction between two people. So over here, the MOOC course is interacting with the student in the form of text, and you can have in-between activity. So you have a small paragraph that you have written, let's say some instructions. So instruction 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you say, did you understand the instruction? Yes or no? More clarity. So this is also a valid reflection spot in while you are doing a learning dialogue. Okay. So a MOOC will have lot of these learning dialogues. So MOOC is a sequence of learning dialogues with higher order activities interspersed, if you want to refine the idea of content and sequencing principle. Okay, let's do another question. Which of the following are characteristics of learning by doing activity in the form of an MCQ? Okay, so I'll give 50 seconds to answer this. So if you have thought about it, you can raise your hand, you can show of hands. Again, the same rule applies. If you think that there are multiple answers, 5 is valid. So I see a lot of 4s, 2s. Okay, time up. Show of hands. Show of hands. 2, 4. Why don't you discuss this? Okay, why don't 2s and 4s discuss this? I see only 2 4s majorly. There are few 5s. Yeah, you can discuss with yourself. I'll finally intervene. So if there are people who think there are multiple answers, they can just raise 2 hands to. I didn't say that multiple answers are not allowed. I said if there are multiple answers, you can raise 5. So, okay, if I give an option that you can do multiple answers options, what will be the, which 2 of them will you take? Yeah, it is right. Okay, so this is to wake you up from the morning slumber, these kind of trick questions. So there is a lot of engagement right at the start, there is a lot of discussions. But yeah, but what is important? Important is that learning by doing activities, they reinforce the key concept that was discussed in a learning dialogue, and there is a detailed feedback. So you will have to remember, whenever there is a learning by doing activity, it is not just the MCQ. MCQ plus feedback is what is a learning dialogue. So just recollect, LEDs, short content, video or text plus reflection spot, create LBDs, exercises related to LED, customize feedback, sequence and LBD after every LED. So exercises related to LED plus customized feedback, okay, and LBDs should follow a learning dialogue. And first half an hour to 45 minutes, we'll focus more on LEDs. We'll focus how to create an LED, we'll explore how to put reflection spot, we'll look at some guidelines or best practices, and we'll also see one technology solution for creating LEDs. So let's watch a learning dialogue, but before watching the learning dialogue, let's go through the whole idea of it. The course is digital literacy, learner characteristics, any learner interested in use of digital media. The topic inside the digital literacy is forum netiquette. Learning objective is identify the 6 rules or etiquettes to be followed while participating in a discussion forum. All of you have seen this, right? So before moving on, is the scoping of the topic within the course, the massive open online course, clear to all of you? So this is a reflection spot, okay. So you can say yes or no, okay. It is your individual, I am not going to interfere at this point, but what I am going to do now is, I am going to open this. So this is the digital literacy course. In that there are a lot of topics. I am just looking at forum netiquette, okay, and okay, in case you are not able to hear the audio, just look at the transcripts. So there is an audio playing over there. So what I will do is, I will just project it into full screen. So there is the course instructor is a lady, and she is telling this about it. So watch it carefully, okay. Audio is not that important. Rule 1 says capitals or uppercase appears as if you are shouting, and then the learner is saying something. Then rule 2, be discerning with emojis and emoticons, as overuse of them is inappropriate. Let's move on. Rule 3, use meaningful subject titles. When you are posting in forums, make sure that subject title is helpful and descriptive to people reading it. Now let's take a quick test. So take quiz now. When communicating online, what should you remember? You are allowed to do only one option in this. I will go by the majority opinion from this class. First one? Okay. Your iPhone 7 won't turn out turn on even though the battery is charged. I mean, he should be a super rich guy to have an iPhone 7, but still, how do you ask for help in a forum? Anybody having a different opinion? I hear only view. Second, first, second. I'll do 3. 3 is not correct. Second, okay. Urgent help needed. Okay. So I'm just submitting my answers. Do you want to view the answers? First one is right. So it is, first of all, it has to be very specific. The subject title, when you say that iPhone 7 unresponsive yet fully charged, that clearly communicates what is required. So this is rule number 3, okay, and also rule number 1. Okay, let me now always use the granny test when you are posting something online. Now, what is granny test? This is a new word and the learner is confused. What's that? So, do not say or do anything online that you wouldn't wish your grandmother to know about. Mind your language, watch your pictures, includes words you use and the pictures you display. Rule 5, do not argue. Don't argue amongst yourself and especially note with the moderator, facilitator or moderator. Okay. Respect their decisions at all times. So, I am hoping that all of you would have moderated discussions in FDP. Yeah, this is important. Thou shalt not steal. Well, of course, we don't steal, but how does this apply online? You wouldn't steal my car. Why take my words or images? Ask permission before using or even reusing. So, let's do another test. Okay. You need an image to illustrate a forum post. Is it okay to get one from Google itself? You are accused of flaming online. What have you been doing? Any answer from this side? So, we will do a competition. So, this side is saying 1. What is this side saying? 1, 1, 3. Okay. So it's not, so what if it is stalking someone online? Okay. Submit answers, view answers. So the first one is correct. All of you know the license has to be carefully checked. It's actually, flaming is actually arguing online, making it hot. So that is the flame. Okay. So hopefully now you are clearer about some of the rules of forum etiquette. See you online. So this is all about the, click to close. These are the people who are behind it. Okay. First, learning by doing activity. Overall, how long was the video? 2 minutes 3 seconds. Okay. How many reflection spots were there? So a reflection spot is a pause point. So do not look at questions, but the point. Okay. So that is reflection spot. 2 reflection spots, and the key concept of focus was forum etiquette, rules of discussion forum. So yes. So the total time was 2 minutes 3 seconds. There were 2 reflection spot, discussion forum, etiquettes or rules. Whatever your answer is, it is fine. So this is a learning by doing activity that you just did in the workshop. Okay. But let us look at what the instructor has done. So there is this core focus point called discussion forum etiquette, and there are 6 rules around it. So identifying blocks of information around a key concept, that is what the instructor has very nicely done. And if you look at how the learning dialogue went, there was a sequence 1, there was a reflection spot, there was another sequence, another reflection spot, and finally a third sequence of telling. Okay. What happened in sequence 1? The instructor presented a wrong practice. So you had the guy writing out in full caps. So that was a wrong practice. State the rule 1 to correct it and explain the rule 1. Then when this was explained, the second wrong practice was shown, emoticons. Again it was corrected using second rule. For the third rule, he just stated the third rule and went on to explain the third rule. And as students, you all watched the video, correct? So this is a reflection spot in this learning dialogue. Which of the below statement is about this question is true? So there is a question on to the right. So I'll tell it as learning by doing activity. I mean, if it was a, so there is this first question. So the first question is, when communicating online, what should you remember? And there were 3 options. Third option. So you are saying that the question is related to the content? The reflection spot question was related to the content? You don't need any additional, so by Google I am saying somebody else. So Google is your help, private assistant, whatever you want to say. The question is a simple recall of what they saw in sequence 1. Okay, this is right. Which of the below statement about the second question, the second reflection spot question is false? Answers? Okay, hint, more than one answers are correct. 1 and 2. One and 2. So the first statement is false. Everyone agree? Second statement, we need to use Google to answer this question. That is also false. What about question is a simple recall of what they saw in sequence 1? Is it true or is it false? So it turns out all of them are false. The third one is not a simple recall. By recall, it's just they know. The rule was there. This is some sort of understand, apply. It's actually applying in a new set. So it's actually clearly at apply or a higher form of understand. Now what happened in the next sequence? In the next sequence there was not too much of this thing. So it was stating the rule, explaining the rule, stating the rule, explaining the rule, state the rule, explaining the rule. Which of the below statement about this question is true? The question requires you to think about application of rules. Question is a simple recall of what they saw in sequence 2. 2, 1, 2, 2. Yes, it requires some sort of application. And this all of you know for sure. The question is not related to the content in sequence 2 of the LED. Both these statements are false. The content in sequence 2 does not directly tell us what flaming is. Okay, so this is going beyond. So you need somebody to help you out over there. So this is, so what has happened in this video? So if you actually look at it, they have inserted the reflection spot correctly, but while operationalizing reflection spot, they have just gone beyond traditional recall, understand that is essentially required in a reflection spot. So what we would advise you is not go too much into the apply level, because you may not know, but if there is an apply level question, it should immediately have a learning by doing activity to reinforce why that was. So you can have apply levels as long as your LBD activity will take care of it, or your next you follow it up with an explanation of that application. Okay, if there is no relation between the content, then we would not encourage you to have apply level activities at the level of the flaming question. So let's now look at another, so this is another form of inserting reflection spots in video. Over here okay, I'll tell you what is happening. So this is actually a microeconomic course from MIT. This is a classroom lecture. It has been videographed, and the instructor is just inserting a particular question in the slide. But what wouldn't be clear is, so they are talking of two types of models in microeconomics. First is a theoretical model, and the second one is empirical model. So theoretical and empirical models in economics. So he has just spoken about it. So his first question is, theoretical economics is the process of building dash to explain the word. So this is a activity that they have inserted over here. So this is actually like a reflection spot. But what has happened is, before the instructor explained what theoretical model is, they inserted this question. Okay. So once you click on the answer, you can see that the instructor is coming over and writing about theoretical economics where you building models. So this is also not advisable, but the technology is good. You can insert the question, and again see 4 options are there. He is doing the same thing. So what this instructor has done wrong is, he put the reflection spots before the explanation of the concept. Some spaces it might be right, where your participants might have some prior knowledge, then this would work. But if the participants are new in a class, then this is not strictly advised. Okay. We are now going to look at a technology. So all of you who have the web connection, just paste this in your laptop. Since audio is not here, that's why I am asking you to paste it in your laptop. If your Wi-Fi connections are not working, you can look into your friend's laptop. So kindly share this. So this is an activity. Okay. So the activity over here is, you will have to go to this site, playposit.com. Click on see it in action. Okay. So you will see this video. All of you reach the site. So there is this see it in action. Click on see it in action, and learn the basics of why instructors use PlayPosit. And there is an activity. The activity is identify the various types of reflection spots. Okay, what all has been used in a reflection spot. So here the first reflection spot is about the PlayPosit founder. So it's an information that has been externally annotated. Okay, you can continue. Okay, the second reflection spot has come over here. What other question type would you most like to hear about during your live session? So they use a term known as reflective pause. There are others also. Look at all these: free response, reflective pause, polling survey, check all apply, fill in the blank, website embed, discussion forum, submit. So this is another reflection spot. I'll just skip to the third reflection spot. So this is a multiple choice question, and there is a feedback at this point. Let me now again a multiple choice question. So you can see what all learning management systems support this particular technology: Google Classroom, Haiku, It's Learning, Moodle, Blackboard, Canvas, most of the existing learning management system. And you can actually see for the moment you give the answer, they give other links to it. So let's come back. So the essential idea here to show you was the various types of technology features that are emerging now. So the moment you want to insert reflection spots, there are, so this is just one, there are multiple things like this, ED School, Nearpod. There are a lot of these technology resources that can actually help you in putting up this, and there is also open source things like h5p.org, which will allow you to put even interactive videos in WordPress websites. So the technology, so the only thing that I wanted to show you here is that technology can help you out in a lot of these things, but what is more important is the pedagogy angle. So the moment you are going towards learner centric mode, so some of the earlier things, so what is more important is that you should put your focus in identifying these small focus points in your lecture, build your video or text around that focus point, insert appropriate reflection spots, do not go beyond simple apply or at max a higher level of understand. So that is what is required when you actually try to do it yourself. So now we have a do it yourself activity. I see that some of you have already created the script. For them it would be easy, but if you have not created a script for your own video, this is the right time to start doing it. So first in your LCM ET, now there will be a folder called day 2. So there is a day 2 and you can click on it. I will just give everyone permission to access. So if you now refresh the page, it is in edit mode. So you will be given, okay, I am giving you 15 minutes to write your script. What we want is just 5-minute video. There will be separate pages. So people who want to create new page, all you have to do is after this press Control Enter and just copy paste. So each one of you can copy paste this by typing Control Enter. Okay. So I see that people are doing it. Do not do anything in the first page. I will just write the instruction. Okay, somebody just deleted my first page. Okay, rule 1 of collaboration, when there is synchronous collaboration, just watch the instructor first. Do not edit this page. Okay, I'll just put it in impact. Impact is and let me just press Control plus enter to after script to open new page. So what you have to do is, okay, instruction number 1, do not edit this page. Instruction number 2, press Control Enter after the script to open a new page. So if you want to open a new page, all you have to do is go over here and type Control Enter. If you are using Mac, it is Command Enter. For other keyboards, it's Control Enter. And so while preparing the script, important, what is the key concept that you want to focus, what you want to build around it. You just need to script for 5 minutes. 5 minutes video, you'll have to really think it through. 5 minutes, we are giving you 15 minutes to write the script. And also think of reflection spots, at least create one reflection spot. Okay, somebody has edited this page, the person who has edited, they have just deleted the page, great. So partition name, institution, the topic that you want to, course and the topic. See, one thing is ensure that you build your LED around this focus topic. So apply chunking principle and create your first LED script. Okay, one reflection spot for a 5-minute video, that's all what we are asking. So yeah, script 5 minutes long with one reflection. Okay, please do not okay. So I have our timeline is running, yeah, 13 minutes, okay. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. So what you can do now is, so people who have completed, just go and visit other pages in the same Google Doc. Use Google comments to provide comment to your peer about one, is it focused around a key concept? Second, are the reflection spots correctly prepared? So are there reflection spots is first one, presence of a reflection spot, and is the reflection spot, the quality of reflection spot, are they doing good job of a reflection spot? So this activity you can take, so it's a 5-minute video, so you will take at least 3 to 4 minutes for reading and another 3 to 4 minutes for commenting. So I am giving you a total of 8 minutes to complete peer review. Okay. Okay. While giving comments, ensure that the feedback, so the comments that you are providing to your peer is a feedback that you are providing. So peer feedback should be constructive and it should help them to move from whatever is not up to the mark towards up to the mark. Okay, 1 minute more. So people who are doing the peer reviews, so for people who have to comment, so the way to comment is select the portion where you want to comment and right click or comment, or just click on this plus button. So this is how you give comments in Google Docs. So there is a script on thermodynamics and there is a reflection spot. So there is a math review of set theory. There is on cardiovascular system. Okay, time up for discussion. Is the discussion over? I mean, is the review over? Has each one of you provided one review? Has anyone, is there anyone who has to give review? Have you looked into your, okay, question number 1, have you looked at one of your peers' script? Okay, question number 1, is it focused around a key concept? Have they inserted reflection spots? Do you think that whatever you saw, it can be covered in 5 minutes? Okay, fine. Okay, what is the largest? So, was it a full page? What was the largest that you saw? What is the largest script that you saw in your, when you looked into your peers? 1 page, 2 page, 3 page? What was the largest? 2 page. Anybody who has written more than 2 page? Okay. Yeah, so one idea is that script writing itself will take some time. So I gave you only 15 minutes, but it may take more time to write a good script within a workshop. But what is more important is that you have attempted a script and you have inserted reflection spots and your peers have evaluated it. So this doc is still in open and you can continue providing your comments, you can improve, refine. But what I'll do right now is, there is one YouTube video from one of your participants over here where it has been inserted for, it was being given for a Swayam course. So I am just requesting Dr. Mandar Banushe, can I play this over here? Okay. So this is taking permission if the video is not in open source, okay, for the appropriate audience. If Dr. Mandar Banushe was not here, I would have emailed him and gotten a approval. Yeah, so this is one more. So as an instructor, I should also take the same permission. Yeah.
All of you, please have a look at that slide, what we were just showing. You have to look at the video. It's a small video. We'll play that and identify where can be a reflection spot. Now this is a video without a reflection spot. Okay. Now you have to figure out what are the positions, and let us do this after tea as a discussion.
Yes.
So have a look at the video, go for tea, discuss with the author if required, and come back.
सुन्दरं मन्दिरं शारदाया मुम्बापुरी विश्वविद्यालयम्
Namaste, my name is Mandar Bhanushe and I am a mathematics faculty at the Institute of Distance and Open Learning, University of Mumbai. Friends, topology is one of the important and core topics for learners who are interested to do post-graduation in the subject of mathematics. It forms the basis of many areas in the field of physics, computer science, and in mathematics like category theory in algebra, analysis, functional analysis, partial differential equations, differential geometry, combinatorics, etc. Topology is the study of shapes and spaces. In mathematics, topology is concerned with the properties of spaces that are preserved under continuous deformation, such as stretching, crumbling and blending, but not tearing. Topology is a study of continuity. Let us look at a strip. If this is a strip and if I join the ends of this strip, it becomes a collar shape. And this collar shape strip now has two surfaces, one is the internal surface and one is the external surface, and it has two edges. But instead of joining the ends like this, if I make a twist and then join them, then this becomes what we call as a Mobius strip, which has one single surface and one single edge. In fact, topology is a study in which it is often described that it is a branch of geometry where two different objects can be continuously deformed to one another and are considered to be the same. A cylinder, for that matter, is topologically equivalent to a circle. A circle is topologically equivalent to an ellipse, and a sphere is topologically equivalent to an ellipsoid. On a lighter note, if somebody asks who can be said as a topologist, the answer would be a person who cannot distinguish between a medu vada and a teacup. Yes, it sounds funny, but it is true. For a topologist, a shape like a medu vada, or we can call as a donut, is equivalent to a shape of what we see as a teacup, because the teacup can be easily blended into the size of a medu vada, the shape of a medu vada. Topology has many subfields of its own. The point set topology, also called as general topology, algebraic topology, differential topology, etc. Thus, topology studies properties of spaces that are invariant under deformation. Friends, in this course we shall come across different important notions like continuity, convergence, compactness, separability, compactness, connectedness, which are important in many applied areas of mathematics. We shall do various definitions, theorems and their proofs from different topics in topology. One more objective which unknowingly will be achieved is that the increase in our power of abstraction in the due course. We shall understand the standard concepts of set theory. We shall analyze the structure of sets and the other algebraic structures, understand the definitions, construct examples and counter examples based on these definitions, develop intuition regarding proofs and making arguments based on logic. In this course, which is a 1 semester 3 credits course, we shall cover the following topics: 1. Review of set theory, 2. Introduction to metric spaces, 3. Introduction to topological spaces, 4. Continuity, convergence, 5. Subspaces, product spaces, quotient spaces, and 6. connectedness and compactness. I look forward to see you and learn with you in this course. Thank you.
सुन्दरं मन्दिरं शारदाया मुम्बापुरी विश्वविद्यालयम्.
Okay, so you know the assignment for this, right? We can have a tea break where you can think, and as I said, you can talk to the author and clarify if you have some doubts, but come back and then we will discuss about various points where you can insert a reflection spot and what should the script for that reflection spot be is the task. Okay, let us go out and have tea before it gets cold.